So it's been a little while now since the Battlefield 1 alpha finished, and it's fair to say that I am really missing this game. I was on it every single night when I had the time, and genuinely, it was the best experience that I've had from a Battlefield game in a very long time. The closed alpha didn't give everyone a chance to play. Maybe some of your friends couldn't play with you, or even worse, you couldn't play with your friends because you were left out. But don't worry, there's an open beta coming, and that of course is open to everybody. There is no date for it right now, but the rumour is it will be coming after Gamescom, which is only a couple of weeks away now. If you check the link in the description, it will take you to the Battlefield Insider page. Get yourself signed up there, and you'll get all the updates about the beta as soon as they're released. But back to Battlefield 1. I really do miss this game. Watching the gameplay back does make everything look really epic, but the sense is not just the same as when you're actually playing. The majority of the alpha was really enjoyable, and it worked very well as well. Things like sniping. My god, the sniping in this game is so satisfying. Think of it as a cross between Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 sniping. The drawn-out bolt animations of the rifles from Bad Company 2, those were really good back in the day, mixed in with the speed and agility of fire that Battlefield 3 offered. And in fact, as a whole, the infantry movement and control in this game feels very similar to Battlefield 3. I found myself going back to that game more over the last couple of weeks and just playing rounds of Rush because it feels so similar to Battlefield 1. It's a very fast-paced game, Battlefield 3, and so is Battlefield 1. And going back and playing Medic on maps like Metro, Bazaar and Sen, I got a little bit of that feeling that Battlefield 1 gave me. It's like scratching an itch that's been bothering you for a while. It feels really good when you do finally itch it. The headshot sound as well, the feedback from the UI when you get a kill from a sniper rifle is very well designed, and it makes you feel really awesome when you do land those kills. It's almost addictive how good the gameplay is in Battlefield 1. Then you've got the vehicle combat. Ground vehicles are extremely powerful in Battlefield 1, and they're a force to be reckoned with all of the time. But even as an infantry soldier, you've got a very good chance of taking down even the most powerful of them, the land ships. A few well-placed anti-tank grenades from your squad, and you're taking that thing down extremely fast. The fact that the vehicles feel like a big threat in Battlefield 1 though, it's kind of good and bad, and I've got some reasoning for that. The good? Infantry are scared of heavy firepower, and they have to change their tactics to bring it down. You can't just run out in front of it and jump around and hope that you'll survive. You're just gonna get killed. You need to take cover, work out a way to deal the damage to take the thing down, maybe a grenade throw, K-bullets from your sniper rifle, or even the rocket gun from the assault class. But each time that you feel threatened by their power, I genuinely think that's a good thing. Infantry should be scared of the armor in this game. The bad thing? For me, it didn't feel like planes were really helping that much, and this is really important. The planes are the other big damage dealer in Battlefield 1, and they should be helping to remove those ground targets. The skies are full of planes all fighting it out amongst each other, but because Battlefield 1 has no helicopters, for obvious reasons it's World War I, there isn't an air vehicle that's 100% geared towards removing ground targets. And perhaps that's why people are saying that the tanks are too powerful, because there's nothing of that great stature in the game that can directly combat them and deal massive damage in a short space of time. Maybe it's infantry that just need to work out how the directional and object damage works on the tanks. I mean, you can knock out the tracks on the tanks now. Sky battles just feel more disjointed than ever from the ground objectives in Battlefield 1, and that kind of just leaves the infantry to deal with the armor. And that's not really a good solution, so maybe DICE need to rework the planes a little bit so they've got more incentive to take out some of the objectives on the ground. One redeeming factor of the tank combat though is the disable mechanic. It's kind of been reworked a little bit. Sometimes you can actually have your vehicle disabled at very high health. I had it disable at like 75% health, which normally in Battlefield wouldn't really cause an issue. But now, I'm completely stuck, and I'm a massive target. You have to complete a full repair cycle before you can move again. That means holding down X while you're in the tank, and you have to wait for like 10 seconds for the circle to fill up. And if you get damaged during that time, that circle timer restarts. So it makes you a massive target and gives the infantry a real good chance to push up on you. And that's a balancing factor that I think DICE have added to make it a little bit easier for the infantry to deal with that armor. The dynamic weather effects as well. As much as people might just say that they're flashy and just show off the graphics of this game and the engine, which of course they do, Frostbite looks amazing, it really did feel like the changing weather had a major effect on the gameplay during a round. When you've got bright sunlight going on, the map is just fully visible in all directions, and that leaves all engagement ranges in the mix, and you can use any one of them. You can snipe at long distance, or you can go in close quarters if you want to. During rainfall, those long range battles disappeared, and people moved in closer so they could actually see their target. And when the fog rolled in, combat is almost reduced to close quarters only. It's that thick. This dynamic weather system, which is random by the way, you don't know what the weather's going to be like when you load into the map. You could start with fog and then it moves to rain, or you could start with sunshine and then it moves to fog again. It's completely random. That kind of change offers you the chance on your team to change your tactics and maybe swing the battle back round in your favour. Under the cover of fog, you can move across all of the open fields almost completely undetected, and maybe you get a big flank on the enemy team, take out some objectives that you've been fighting for the whole game so far. It forces you to change up your combat style as well, make the decision to switch classes and use different weaponry and gadgets to win the battle. And speaking of weapons and gadgets, I really like the way that they've changed up the weapon balance in Battlefield 1 as well. It focuses more on engagement range now, with each class dominating in certain areas. The Assault class is the up close and personal guy. Medic sits at mid-range with the Support class, but the Support class can also suppress at long range, and then the Scout is simply there to take out long-range targets. You know when you pick a class what type of playstyle you should be going for. It's very clear after you've died a few times in a battle that you probably aren't playing the class and its weapons correctly. And without directly forcing you, the game is like gently massaging people into playing differently. I certainly felt we were playing more together, more closely as a team in the closed alpha, especially in comparison to Battlefield 4, where right now you have so many weapons to choose from, different categories, different engagement ranges, bullet velocity, all these different things that you have to think about, and you never really know what you're going to come up against, because you could just be as random as the person you're about to enter a gunfight with. Here in Battlefield 1, it's much clearer what you're coming up against when you see that soldier in front of you. And do you know what the best part is? There's still so much more that hasn't been shown off yet. We've got different game modes like Operations, Air Superiority and Rush, maps like the deserts of Arabia, the Forest of Argonne, the Italian Alps, more weapons, more vehicles, and customization as well. And I think it's very likely that you're going to see more of this at Gamescom. Battlefield 4 had a massive presence at Gamescom a few years ago when it was coming out, so I'm expecting the exact same here, and that will likely include a lot more bug fixes, updates, and more from what we've seen in the closed alpha. The game will be more complete than ever, and will give you a really good idea of what to expect on the launch. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. Tell me what you think about Battlefield 1. Did you play the closed alpha? Let me know your experiences. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.